Hey, beautiful souls. Today we're diving deep into something that every single one of us struggles with: letting go. You know that heavy feeling in your chest when you just can't seem to move past something or someone? Well, get ready, because I'm about to share some life-changing wisdom that combines ancient Stoic philosophy with modern psychology. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to finally release what's holding you back and find that inner peace you've been searching for. Let's transform that pain into power. We're going to explore 3 powerful phases of letting go. First, we'll uncover why we get stuck and how our minds trick us into holding on. Then, we'll dive into actionable Stoic practices that have helped people find peace for over 2,000 years. Finally, I'll show you cutting-edge psychological techniques that will revolutionize how you handle difficult emotions and situations. Plus, stick around until the end for a special framework that combines all of these approaches into one powerful system. Act 1. Understanding the grip of attachment. Let's start by understanding why letting go feels like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops. Our brains are literally wired for attachment. It's a survival mechanism that evolved over millions of years. When we form connections with people or become invested in situations, our neural pathways create powerful bonds that feel as real as physical chains. This isn't just poetic metaphor. Neuroscience shows that social pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. That's why rejection, loss, or letting go of a dream can hurt as much as a broken bone. Here is where things get really interesting. Our attachment often masquerades as control. We convince ourselves that if we just hold on tight enough, think about it long enough, or try hard enough, we can change the unchangeable. This illusion of control is like trying to grip water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. The paradox is that our desperate attempt to maintain control actually controls us, creating a prison of our own making. The price we pay for refusing to let go is astronomical. Every ounce of mental energy spent clinging to the past is energy stolen from your present and future. It's like trying to drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. You'll either crash or stay parked forever. The psychological burden manifests in anxiety, depression, and chronic stress, while physically, it can compromise your immune system, disrupt sleep patterns, and accelerate aging. This isn't just about emotional well-being. It's about your entire life's trajectory. Even when holding on causes us pain, we often prefer this familiar suffering to the unknown territory of letting go. Think of it like wearing shoes that don't fit. They hurt with every step, but we keep wearing them because we're afraid to walk barefoot into new territory. This comfort and discomfort becomes a self-reinforcing cycle, where our pain becomes part of our identity, and letting go feels like losing a piece of ourselves. Our ego plays a fascinating role in this attachment dance. It convinces us that holding on is a sign of strength, commitment, or loyalty, when often it's actually fear in disguise. The ego attaches stories to our pain, narratives about being wronged, about what could have been, about what we deserve. These stories become like comfortable old sweaters we refuse to throw away, even though they're full of holes and no longer serve their purpose. The science behind why letting go is so challenging reveals an intricate dance between our brain's chemistry and our emotional experience. When we're attached to someone or something, our bodies release a cocktail of neurotransmitters: dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, creating a biochemical bond that feels impossible to break. Understanding this biological component helps us realize that our struggle isn't a personal failure. It's a natural response that we can learn to work with rather than against. Our difficulty in letting go often has roots in social conditioning and cultural narratives. Society celebrates persistence and determination, sometimes at the expense of wisdom and acceptance. We're bombarded with messages about never giving up and fighting for what you want, making it harder to recognize when letting go is actually the stronger choice. This social programming creates additional layers of resistance we must understand to overcome. One of the most peculiar aspects of attachment is how it distorts our perception of time. We become trapped between a past we can't change and a future we can't control, missing the only moment we can actually influence: the present. This time paradox creates a psychological loop where we're constantly replaying past events or projecting future scenarios, preventing us from engaging with the reality of our current situation. At the core of our attachment often lies fear. Fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being alone, fear of starting over. These fears create a complex web of resistance that keeps us stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. Understanding the specific fears driving our attachment is crucial for developing effective strategies to overcome them. Consider the energy dynamics of holding on versus letting go. Maintaining attachment requires constant emotional and mental energy. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The moment you stop actively pushing, it naturally rises to the surface. This continuous expenditure of energy not only exhausts us, but also prevents us from investing in new opportunities and relationships that could bring growth and fulfillment. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of attachment is how it becomes intertwined with our sense of self. When we've held on to something for so long, letting go can feel like losing a part of our identity. This identity attachment creates a fundamental resistance to change, as letting go doesn't just mean releasing a person or situation. It means being willing to become someone new, someone we haven't met yet. The turning point in understanding attachment comes when we realize that holding on is a choice we make in each moment. This awareness can be uncomfortable, even painful, because it shifts responsibility from external circumstances to our internal decisions. However, this realization also contains the seed of freedom. If holding on is a choice, then letting go is equally within our power. Act 2. Stoic wisdom for letting go. Enter the transformative wisdom of Stoicism, beginning with the fundamental principle of the dichotomy of control. The ancient Stoics understood that peace comes not from controlling external events, but from mastering our response to them. They taught that everything in our experience falls into two categories: things within our control and things beyond it. This simple but profound distinction becomes our first powerful tool for letting go. Here is where many people misunderstand Stoicism. They confuse acceptance with resignation. Stoic acceptance isn't about giving up or becoming passive. It's about seeing reality clearly and responding with wisdom rather than reaction. It's the difference between fighting against the current of a river and learning to navigate its flow. This active acceptance becomes a foundation for meaningful change rather than a surrender to circumstances. The Stoics were practicing mindfulness long before it became a buzzword. They emphasized the importance of living in the present moment, not as an escape from reality, but as the only place where we have genuine power to act. This presence becomes a powerful antidote to the mental time travel that keeps us stuck in patterns of attachment. When we fully inhabit the present, we naturally loosen our grip on both past and future. One of the most powerful Stoic teachings for letting go is the contemplation of impermanence. Everything in life is in constant flux: relationships, situations, emotions, thoughts. When we deeply understand this truth, we stop fighting against the natural flow of change and start working with it. This isn't just philosophical theory. It's a practical tool for reducing the suffering caused by attachment to temporary things. The Stoics emphasized the importance of distinguishing between what truly matters and what only appears to matter. They taught that most of our attachments are to preferred indifference, things that might be nice to have but aren't essential for our well-being. This perspective helps us loosen our grip on external circumstances and focus on developing internal qualities that can't be taken away. Here is a counterintuitive Stoic practice that actually helps with letting go: deliberately visualizing the loss of what we're attached to. This isn't about dwelling in negativity. It's about developing psychological resilience and appreciating what we have while we have it. This practice helps us maintain perspective and reduces the shock when change inevitably occurs. The Stoics were pioneers in understanding emotional intelligence. They taught that our emotions aren't random events that happen to us, but consequences of our judgments and beliefs. This understanding gives us a practical framework for working with difficult emotions that arise during the process of letting go. Instead of being overwhelmed by feelings, we learn to examine and work with them constructively. A core Stoic principle particularly relevant to letting go is self-sufficiency. They taught that true happiness comes from developing internal resources rather than depending on external circumstances or other people. This principle helps us build the emotional resilience necessary for letting go and moving forward with confidence. The Stoic practice of rational analysis provides a powerful tool for examining our attachments objectively. By questioning our assumptions and examining the logic behind our attachments, we can often see that many of our reasons for holding on don't stand up to scrutiny. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but about bringing clarity to our decision-making process. Taking the view from above, imagining our situation from a cosmic perspective, was a favorite Stoic practice for gaining perspective. When we view our attachments against the backdrop of the vast universe and the sweep of time, they often naturally loosen their grip on us. This shift in perspective helps us see our current struggles in a broader context. The Stoic emphasis on virtue as the highest good provides a compass for navigating difficult letting-go decisions. When we focus on acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, many of our attachments naturally fall away as we recognize they don't serve these higher values. This gives us a clear framework for making difficult choices. The practical application of Stoic principles to letting go involves developing specific habits of thought and action. This includes regular reflection on what we can and cannot control, practicing presence in daily activities, examining our judgments about situations, and consistently choosing responses that align with our values rather than our immediate emotional reactions. Act 3. Psychological techniques for inner peace. Modern psychology provides evidence-based techniques that complement Stoic wisdom perfectly. Research in neuroplasticity shows that we can literally rewire our brains through consistent practice. Understanding this biological basis for change gives us confidence that letting go is not just philosophically possible, but physically achievable through dedicated practice. One of psychology's most powerful tools for letting go is cognitive restructuring, the practice of identifying and challenging unhelpful thought patterns. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about accurate thinking. By examining the thoughts that keep us attached and testing them against reality, we can gradually loosen their hold on us. Psychology teaches us the importance of properly processing emotions rather than suppressing them. This involves developing emotional literacy, the ability to identify, understand, and work with our feelings constructively. When we learn to process emotions effectively, they become valuable information rather than overwhelming experiences that keep us stuck. The psychological principle of behavioral activation shows us that action often needs to precede emotional change. Instead of waiting to feel ready to let go, we can take small, concrete steps that gradually create distance from what we're holding on to. This action-oriented approach helps break the paralysis that often accompanies strong attachment. While the Stoics taught presence, modern psychology provides specific mindfulness techniques for achieving it. These practices help us observe our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, creating the psychological space necessary for letting go. Regular mindfulness practice strengthens our ability to choose our response to attachment rather than being controlled by it. Understanding attachment theory helps us recognize how our early experiences influence our current patterns of holding on. This awareness allows us to approach our attachment patterns with compassion while developing more secure ways of relating to others and situations. It's about building new patterns rather than just breaking old ones. Psychology offers valuable insights into how we can reconstruct our identity as we let go of old attachments. This involves exploring and developing new aspects of ourselves, building a more flexible self-concept that can adapt to change without losing its core stability. It's about expanding who we are, rather than remaining defined by what we're letting go of. Learning to set and maintain healthy boundaries is crucial for letting go. Psychology provides practical strategies for defining and communicating our limits, helping us create the emotional space necessary for release. This isn't about building walls. It's about creating healthy space for growth and healing. Understanding the psychology of grief helps us recognize that letting go often involves a natural mourning process. This knowledge helps us honor our attachments while moving through the necessary stages of release. It's about acknowledging loss while remaining open to new possibilities. Psychological research on resilience provides practical strategies for bouncing back from the challenges of letting go. This involves developing specific skills like flexibility, adaptability, and stress tolerance. These skills become the foundation for maintaining inner peace through life's inevitable changes. Modern psychology offers specific techniques for integrating new insights and behaviors into our daily lives. This practical approach helps bridge the gap between understanding and action, ensuring that our efforts to let go create lasting change rather than temporary relief. The final psychological component involves developing strategies for maintaining our progress in letting go. This includes creating support systems, establishing healthy routines, and developing plans for handling setbacks. It's about building a sustainable practice of release rather than achieving a one-time breakthrough. And there you have it, beautiful souls, a complete roadmap for letting go and finding inner peace. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Start applying these tools today. Be patient with yourself and watch how your life transforms. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Drop a comment below sharing your biggest takeaway or any questions you have. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and remember, letting go is the ultimate act of self-love.